Ed Sheeran, Zoo FM Breakfast, 10 past 8 for your Monday morning. Top of 27 degrees today in Wellington, about 14 at the moment. Going to be sunny today. Me, Matt Dickerson, joins us. Good morning, mate.
Can you believe that? 27 degrees? The weather's all over the place.
It seems a bit weird, and then I'm sure tomorrow will be absolutely freezing to death.
Yes, that's right. Well, freezing to death might be a bit of an overstatement there, but
slightly
chillier.
Yeah. I've heard somewhere that the old Dubbo Bowling Club is in the news, and is that the one that has the bowling greens that have a bit of plants coming out of it that I may have noticed?
The ones that if you were going to do bowling on it, you'd need to do bowling with a bit of extra force to get over some of those.
You'd have to follow it with a lawnmower,
That's
probably.
Right. So council's actually keen to own that. There has been an EOI process from the RSL Club where we've actually submitted an EOI for that. So we're pretty keen to own that parcel of land. The RSL Club have had a process where they were talking about a parcel of land of ours up in Keswick to build a club on, presumably, something like that. And so that process has been going along. The slight concern I've got at the moment, we went through committees last week, and this is I'm going to be very technical and pedantic here.
Brilliant.
I am the spokesperson for council decisions.
Yes.
Section C of Part 226 of the Local Government Act says that Mayor is the spokesperson for council decisions. So if it's a council resolution, then I've got to talk about that council resolution, regardless of my individual opinion and regardless of how I might have voted on that. This is a little bit different because we've actually had a committee meeting where the majority of councillors voted one way, myself and some other councillors voted the other way, and I was in the negative. So the recommendation from that committee is to go through to council, but it's not a council resolution yet. So I can't speak against it yet. If it goes through a council resolution, then I can't speak against it.
When we hear your opinion suddenly change, that's when we know it's reached that stage.
That's right, exactly right. And that'll be Thursday week when the next council meeting is. But at this stage, what the council recommendation is to sell that parcel of land. And it doesn't matter, selling to the RSL Club, doesn't matter who they're selling it to, but they're selling it without going through an EOI process. And personally, with public land, I would always prefer we did some sort of public process, whether it be by auction, whether it be via EOI process. And I'm talking about a significant parcel of land. I'm not talking about individual blocks, house blocks, where we might have 20 of those and here's the market price and we put them for sale. But again, they're open to the public, Keegan. Anyone can come along and buy one of those. My concern with this is that the recommendation from councillors is that we take that parcel of land and just sell it to one entity and not go through an EOI process. There's been a valuation done on that, so the price seems fair and reasonable. I can't talk about the price that was discussed in confidential counsel, but that's my concern. We've got some other parcels of land, some other processes we've gone through. Opposite the swimming pool on Talbragar Street, we've got some land there. We've gone out to an EOI process for that. Opposite the council building in Church Street, we've got a small building there. We've gone out to an EOI process for that. In fact, when we had control of the greens, we went out to an EOI process for that. So we're being consistent and being open and transparent. You want to keep the status
quo when it comes to the process.
The process, that's exactly right. So the outcome is not so much my concern. The outcome is probably a reasonable outcome, but I just like the process to be that fair, open and transparent process. And I'm not convinced it is a fair, open and transparent process at this stage because we've only given one entity the potential to purchase that parcel of land. So there'll be a bit more discussion amongst councils over the next week and a half over that. And then, as I said, Thursday week is when our next council meeting is, when the final decision will be made.
Brilliant. Well, something less technical is the Wellington Caves. I've heard they've been in the news as well, and I haven't actually visited them yet, but they look amazing.
They do look amazing, and you do need to get down and have a look at those. There's been a couple of things. There's been a paleo dig. Flinders University were here on Friday and they were doing a paleo dig, and I would have loved to have gotten down to that, but we did a shared pathway opening here on Friday morning, so I couldn't make it to both, unfortunately. But that was fascinating because there still is a lot of interest in the research community with the Wellington Caves, and so there's still some interest there in what's happening, and so that paleo dig would have been fascinating to be there. But we've also got the Gaydon Cave, which has just been reopened, so there was a bit of concern with some of the flooding that we had, some of the extensive water that went through there, so there was a bit of concern about the safety of some of the caves there. So some of the caves were closed down, so it was a great tourist attraction, but it was limited in what we could do. But the Gaydon Cave is one that is now back up and open again, so I think we'll start to see the numbers build back up there, including the numbers of you,
yes,
Keegan, when you get down there.
Hopefully.
That's right, yeah.
Click me. Well, it's always good to have a chat. Thanks for coming in this morning, Mr. Mayor. Much appreciated.
My pleasure, Keegan. Thank you.
Cheers.